my God, this is absolutely incredible. What a beautiful moment for Ghana.
Ghana, our beloved country, is free forever. Ghana is 69 years old today.
An iconic nation in Africa and across the world. Long before modern skyscrapers rose over Accra, the land now known as Ghana was home to powerful kingdoms, thriving trade routes, and rich cultural traditions. From the legendary Ashanti Empire to coastal trading centers that connected Africa to the wider world, this region played an important role in West African history. But in the late 19th century, the area became part of the British colony known as the Gold Coast. After decades of struggle led by visionary leaders like Kwame Nkrumah, the nation gained independence on March 6, 1957, becoming the first sub-Saharan African country to break free from colonial rule. Today, every year, Ghana celebrates this historic moment. But during one recent celebration, something remarkable happened.
If you've enjoyed this video so far, please do me a huge favour and hit the like button and subscribe. These videos take quite a long time to make, so if you could help me out, I'll love you forever. Thank you all for your support. Now let's get back to this crazy story.
Hundreds of visitors from the African diaspora traveled thousands of miles to Ghana to be part of the independence celebration. Among them were nearly about 500 Black Americans arriving as part of a special international delegation. For many of them, the journey was not just tourism. It was something deeply personal. A chance to reconnect with history, culture, and ancestry. Visits like this also carry significant economic impact. Diaspora tourism has become an important contributor to Ghana's economy. Visitors stay in hotels, eat in local restaurants, hire transportation, and purchase traditional crafts from markets. Even a small delegation can bring millions of dollars into the local economy. For many small businesses, especially during slower tourism seasons, these visits provide a powerful boost.
Huge impact. These are high net income spenders, from accommodation, food and beverages, buying gifts from the craft market, transportation, hotel, and so on and so forth. It's going to boost our economy. If you take averagely, if a person spends say $3,000, multiply $3,000 by 500, and if they are spending 2 weeks, you appreciate the tourism receipt, the income that is coming into our economy, and it's coming into the informal sector, where normally in January it dips down because we have spent so much in December, so it's a lean season. So even in lean season, you are getting visitors coming, spending. It's a major boost for our economy.
It's not December, it's the end of January. So inside of the African American traditions, there are a whole bunch of dates that are significant to us that will attract large numbers of people if we tap in. I'm telling you, it could have been 5,000. That's how many people wanted to come to celebrate this. And there are other organizations that we partner with who want to do the same thing. So if we can just really begin to work together more cohesively, I think that we can do a lot throughout the year for a group like Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated to celebrate their Founders Day on their 118th Founders Day and charter a new chapter is big.
The visit also coincided with an important milestone for one of the world's oldest African-American organizations. Members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated traveled to Ghana to celebrate their 118th Founders Day. The organization also planned to establish a new international chapter in Ghana. Beyond celebration, the group focused on strengthening connections between Ghana and the global African community.
A lot of countries in Africa, we want to find out why specifically Ghana.
Well, it's a couple of reasons. We have an interest group that's here that has been working hard and working on our mission of service to all mankind here in Ghana, and they have said they wanted a chapter here. And so what we're doing is coming through and make sure that we give them that chapter and that we celebrate this 118 years with them.
The delegation also came with a mission of service. During their visit, volunteers organized initiatives to help fight food insecurity among children. Members of the group prepared hundreds of food packages to support families in need. They also planned donations to assist local maternity wards, helping hospitals provide better care for mothers and newborns. These efforts reflect a deeper spirit of partnership between Ghana and the diaspora.
We know Alpha Kappa Alpha is all about community service,
Yes.
It's all about leadership and all of that.
Yes.
We want to find out what collaborations can Ghana tap into with this visit.
There's a couple of things that we wanted to do for community service. Now, one of the things we do is we work on fighting food insecurity. So we have a program called CHIP, Childhood Hunger Initiative Power Packs. So we intend to pack at least 1,000 power packs while we're here on January 15th. We're going to include rice. We're going to include tomato paste. We're going to include packets of fish. So everybody brought something in this whole group to contribute to that. But not only that, we also work on maternity health. So we plan to give to the hospital here in Ghana a substantial donation to help clear out the maternity wards in one of the hospitals. So that's the other piece that we're going to do. So we're just wanting to make sure that we leave Ghana just a little bit better than we found it, and hopefully we continue our mission on service to all mankind.
For many members of the African diaspora, visiting Ghana carries a deep emotional meaning. Historic sites such as Cape Coast Castle and Elmina Castle stand as powerful reminders of the transatlantic slave trade. These were places where millions of Africans were taken from the continent centuries ago. Walking through these historic grounds allows many visitors to reflect on history, identity, and resilience. For some, the journey is both emotional and healing.
We know you will also be visiting the Cape Coast Castle.
Yes.
And then the Assyrian slave war.
Yes.
How important and how significant is
You know what? That is so important to us because, and this is where you get that heartfelt moment and that sincerity, because now we're going back to understand and learn and explore our ancestral background. It is going to mean so much to us to be able to have that opportunity, and we're thankful for that.
Events like this highlight a growing movement, the reconnection between Africa and its global diaspora. Ghana has become a gateway for many people of African descent seeking to rediscover their heritage. As more visitors arrive each year, the cultural and historical bond between Africa and the diaspora continues to grow stronger.
For us here in Ghana, it means a lot for us to reconnect with our sisters from the diaspora. We want to find out from you what it means to you also.
What it means for us to connect?
Yeah.
You know what? This history. For us, it's history. For us, it's an opportunity that some of us wouldn't have had. And so it's really close for us to be able to come back, explore, learn, and become better. That way we'll be a better voice when we go back home, because we will have experienced it. So I thank Diallo Sumbri and the Adinkra group for all that they've done to help arrange it. We appreciate it, we love it, and we're going to move forward.
Finally, how many of you are coming? Yeah.
How many? Oh, we have 500. We have 500 on our international delegation.
Finally, what do you want to tell those who have not visited Ghana yet to connect to their same stories? What do you say?
Look, everything we've had, here's one thing I think is so important. The people here have been so welcoming, so loving and comfortable toward us. That makes us feel like we're coming home. And when you feel like you're coming home, it's important. On our return, what we do is hopefully impacting the economy. We're staying in the hotels. We're staying in the restaurants. We're buying anything that's pink and green belongs in our closet. So we're doing all of that to hope we also positively impact the people here in Ghana as well.
Thank you, Madam President.
And thank you so much.
Okay.
All right.
We helped start the year of return, and we helping to kick that off, right? It's not December, it's the end of January. So inside of the African American traditions, there are a whole bunch of dates that are significant to us that will attract large numbers of people if we tap in. So I think it's important for people in government and the private industry, if I can say it, to partner with people like me who are tapped in and others who understand when we're marketing to the diaspora, when we're asking the diaspora to come back, what is meaningful to them? What are the things that would have 500 people? And I'm telling you, it could have been 5,000. That's how many people wanted to come to celebrate this. And there are other organizations that we've partnered with who want to do the same thing. So if we can just really begin to work together more cohesively, I think that we can do a lot throughout the year, because everybody doesn't come to party, right? You look at it like a birthday, a wedding celebration or something like that, but here for a group like Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated to celebrate their Founders Day on their 118th Founders Day and charter a new chapter is big.
What do you think about the growing connection between Ghana and the African diaspora? Do you believe more people should visit Africa to reconnect with their history? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy stories about history, culture, and the African diaspora, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more powerful documentaries like this one. Ghana's Independence Day is more than a national celebration. It is a moment when the nation pauses to reflect on its past, evaluate its present, and imagine its future. On March 6th, at the historic Black Star Square in Accra, the nation marked 69 years of independence. During the ceremony, President John Mahama delivered an address outlining the direction of the country, touching on history, governance, economic reforms, youth development, and Africa's future. In this segment, we take a closer look at the key moments from the president's speech, highlighting the ideas that could shape Ghana's next chapter. Let's begin with how the president honored Ghana's history and founding vision. President Mahama began his address by paying tribute to the architects of Ghana's independence. He reminded the nation of the moment in 1957 when Dr. Kwame Nkrumah declared Ghana free from colonial rule, making Ghana the first sub-Saharan African nation to gain independence. According to the president, Ghana's freedom was never meant to stand alone. It was meant to inspire the liberation of the entire African continent. Mahama also acknowledged the contributions of past leaders across different governments and political traditions, emphasizing that each administration has played a role in shaping the Ghana we know today.
We stand here not just as witnesses to history, but as guardians of a legacy and architects of our shared destiny that are united under the red for our courage, the gold for our wealth, the green for our forests, and the black star that shines as a beacon of hope for Africa and the diaspora. Today, as we mark our 69th independence anniversary, we do so under the theme, Building Prosperity, Inspiring Hope. This theme is more than just ceremonial. It represents a covenant between the government and the governed, a solemn promise that every decision we make and every policy we implement must foster prosperity and renew hope for every Ghanaian. Just 6 days ago, I stood before Parliament to deliver the State of the Nation address. I spoke honestly about our challenges and confidently about the future and the progress we are making. But today, I speak not only to our Parliament, but to every Ghanaian, the farmer in the northern savannah, the trader in the Makola markets, the teachers in our classrooms, the nurses in our hospitals and clinics, the young entrepreneur with a smartphone in his hand, and every Ghanaian, both at home and in the diaspora. This is our story. This is our moment. We cannot speak of Ghana's present without paying homage to our past. 69 years ago, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah proclaimed to the world,
And thus, Ghana, your beloved country, is free forever. We must realize that from now on, we are no more a colonial, but a free and independent people.
that at long last, the battle is ended, and that Ghana, our beloved country, is free forever. He also added that the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of the African continent. Nkrumah did not only grant us independence, he awakened within us a sense of consciousness and a continental purpose. Starting with the UGCC and eventually the CPP, along with the countless unsung heroes and patriots, they sparked a movement that altered the course of African history. Today, we honor the memory of Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and all others who have led this country after him. All of them have been a part of our history and have brought us to this moment in our lives. From Dr. Kofi Abrifabuzia to J.A. Ankara, Akwesi Afrifa, Ike Achampong, General Akufo, Jerry John Rawlings, John Ajekum Kufuor, John Evans Atta Mills, and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Every administration, regardless of its political inclination, has played its part in building the nation we all proudly call Ghana.
Another central message in the president's speech was Ghana's democratic journey. For nearly 7 decades, Ghana has built a reputation as one of Africa's most stable democracies. President Mahama highlighted how the country has learned to compete politically without destroying national unity. Peaceful transfers of power, he said, demonstrate the maturity and wisdom of the Ghanaian people.
Played its part in building the nation we all proudly call Ghana. Our democracy has endured because we've learned to compete without destroying, to disagree without hatred, and to transfer power peacefully, which is evidence of the maturity and the wisdom of the Ghanaian people.
A powerful moment in the speech came when the president addressed Ghana's relationship with the African diaspora. He referenced the painful history of the transatlantic slave trade, pointing to the slave dungeons of Cape Coast and Elmina castles. Millions of Africans were taken from these shores. But today, Ghana is working to reconnect with descendants of those communities across the Caribbean and the Americas. The president also announced plans for Ghana to push for global recognition of slavery as a crime against humanity.
Your Excellency Prime Minister Terence Drew, your presence here today carries great significance for us. Your visits and our bilateral engagements represent more than just diplomacy. They signify a historic reconnection between Ghana and our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, branches of the same ancestral tree. The dungeons of the Cape Coast and Elmina castles remind us of the dark chapters of history when millions of Africans were forcibly transported across the Middle Passage to the so-called New World. Yet from that tragedy arose the remarkable resilience, creativity, and cultural brilliance that continue to influence the world. Today, Ghana is working with partners across Africa and the diaspora to seek historical justice. Later this month, Ghana will submit a motion to the United Nations declaring slavery and the transatlantic slave trade the gravest crime against humanity.
President Mahama also spoke about the country's economic recovery. He said the government is focused on stabilizing the economy, restoring investor confidence, and strengthening financial discipline. According to the president, inflation is gradually declining and the Ghanaian cedi is stabilizing, while new policies aim to redirect national resources toward healthcare, education, agriculture, and job creation.
My fellow citizens, when I took office, you granted me a clear mandate to reset our nation, Ghana. Resetting Ghana goes beyond simply managing our issues. It involves transforming how we govern, how we produce, and how we share the fruits of our prosperity. Over the past year, we've taken decisive steps to stabilize our economy, restore investor confidence, and rebuild fiscal discipline in how we manage our resources. Inflation is declining, the cedi, our local currency, is stabilizing, and confidence in the Ghanaian economy is gradually returning. We've renegotiated our debts to obtain more sustainable terms for our people, and we've redirected valuable national resources towards healthcare, education, agriculture, and employment creation. But resetting Ghana goes beyond just the numbers. It involves resetting our values, our expectations, and the social contract that exists between leaders and citizens. Leadership must be accountable.
Another major theme of the speech was the fight against corruption. The president described corruption as a cancer that weakens national development. He emphasized that stolen public funds do not just disappear, they take away schools, hospitals, roads, and opportunities for young people. Mahama promised stronger institutions and greater accountability in public service.
Corruption is a cancer that erodes the very foundation of our nation. Every cedi that is stolen from the public purse represents a classroom that is robbed of textbooks. It represents a hospital that will go without medicines. It represents a road that will be left uncompleted. And it represents a young graduate that will be denied opportunity. Under my leadership, we're not just fighting corruption with words alone. We're strengthening institutions, protecting anti-corruption agencies from political interference, and ensuring that no individual, regardless of their status or party, is above the law. But government cannot win this battle alone. We must foster a national culture of integrity, where honesty is valued and public service is regarded as a sacred duty. Independence granted us freedom, but freedom demands responsibility. We need to re-establish discipline in our national life.
President Mahama also delivered a direct message to the youth of Ghana. He reminded young people that they belong to a generation with unprecedented tools and opportunities. A simple smartphone, he said, can become a classroom, a business platform, and a gateway to the global economy. The government, he added, plans to invest more in digital infrastructure, innovation hubs, and entrepreneurship programs across the country.
True patriotism must be shown through our everyday actions. The citizen who protects public property, the public servant who treats every Ghanaian with respect, and the entrepreneur who opts to invest his resources in Ghana's future. Above all, we must place country above party, above tribe, and above personal interest. Citizens, Ghana is bigger than any one of us. To the young people of this country, I see you, I hear you, and I believe in your potential. You belong to a generation that is armed with tools and opportunities that earlier generations could hardly have imagined. In your hands, a smartphone transforms into a classroom. In your hands, a business platform, a smartphone transforms into a business platform. In your hands, a smartphone transforms into a creative studio and a gateway to the global economy. However, I also recognize your frustrations, and that is why government is investing in digital infrastructure, entrepreneurship programs, and innovation hubs across the country, from Accra to Kumasi to Tamale, Takoradi, Ho, and Koforidua. We're reforming education to meet the needs of the modern economy and expanding internship and apprenticeship programs to bridge the gap between school and the world of work. But success will also depend on discipline, resilience, and excellence. And let me give you sound advice. The future belongs to those who prepare for it. Permit me to congratulate the 52 outstanding students who received the President's Independence Day Award for school children earlier this week. I also commend Keta Secondary Technical School for winning the 69th Independence Day quiz competition. And I extend my congratulations to the winners of this year's National Debates Competition. All of you represent the promise of Ghana's future.
One of the most significant policy announcements in the speech was the 24-hour Economy Initiative. The President announced that legislation has been approved to support businesses operating around the clock. The goal is to increase productivity, expand services, and create thousands of new jobs across industries such as manufacturing, logistics, security, and transportation.
My fellow countrymen and women, I'm pleased to announce that I have assented to the 24-hour Economy Authority Bill, and it has now become law. This historic reform will boost Ghana's productivity. Businesses will be incentivized to run across multiple shifts. Factories will operate around the clock, and services will become more accessible to our citizens. 1,000 new jobs will be generated across various sectors, ranging from manufacturing and logistics to security and transportation. This initiative will enable us to optimize the use of our national infrastructure and establish Ghana as a competitive industrial hub. And this is how we will create prosperity. I'm also pleased to announce that we're in the final stages of setting up the Women's Development Bank. This work has been under the leadership of our hardworking Vice President, Jane Nana Opoku Agyeman. Our women entrepreneurs have historically been the backbone of Ghana's informal economy, and yet too many of them face barriers to affordable credit. This Women's Development Bank will provide accessible financing, mentorship, and business support that is tailored to women-led enterprises. When women succeed, families thrive, and nations prosper. Women of Ghana, we are committed to investing so that you realize your full potential. Ghana's destiny is inseparable from Africa's destiny. Today, Africa is home to over 1.4 billion people and possesses the youngest workforce in the world. The African Continental Free Trade Area, which is based here in Accra, is one of the most ambitious economic integration projects in the history of the world. A unified market for African goods and services, a platform for African innovation, a foundation for Africa's economic sovereignty. Ghana will continue to lead by example, demonstrating that democracy, economic reform, and African unity can succeed together. As we approach the milestone of Ghana's 70th anniversary next year, let us reaffirm our national vision. A vision of a Ghana where no child will go to bed hungry. And a Ghana where education is accessible and empowering, a Ghana where healthcare is affordable and accessible, a Ghana with world-class infrastructure, a Ghana that produces what it consumes, a Ghana where merit and not connections decides opportunity, a Ghana that is digitally connected from Aflao to Hamile, a Ghana that preserves its forests and environment for future generations. This vision is within reach, but it requires our collective efforts. My fellow Ghanaians, 69 years ago, our nation was born in hope, and together we gather here this morning to renew that hope. The journey has not always been smooth. We have stumbled and often felt disappointed in ourselves, but we have never given up. There's resilience that defines the Ghanaian spirit still lives on. As your president, I pledge to serve with integrity, humility, and unwavering dedication to the welfare of our people.
As the speech came to a close, President Mahama reminded citizens that Ghana's progress cannot depend on leadership alone. Every Ghanaian, he said, has a role to play, from entrepreneurs and teachers to farmers and students. Nation building requires collective responsibility.
But Ghana's progress cannot rely solely on my leadership. It will depend on every citizen doing their part. Wherever you are, whatever you do your part with excellence. Do it for Ghana, do it for Africa, and do it for the generations yet unborn. Ladies,
nearly 7 decades after independence, Ghana continues to evolve. Its journey has included triumphs, challenges, and moments that tested the nation's resilience. Yet the vision first declared in 1957 still echoes today. A vision of a country that stands not only for its own freedom, but for the dignity and unity of Africa. The question now is not just how far Ghana has come, but how far it is willing to go.
As I conclude, building prosperity, inspiring hope is not merely today's theme. It is our national mission. Today we celebrate how far we have come, and when we leave here, tomorrow we must commit ourselves to how far we will go. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Long live Ghana and long live African unity. I thank you.
Of the 69th Independence Anniversary Address. Thank you, Your Excellency.